she's so fine. Helluva, blows my mind. Helluva, lights my day.
What's good, guys? This story is coming out of Liberty City, Miami-Dade County, Florida, and it's been covered a lot, but then it's kind of died off. So I wanted to do this story. 17-year-old girl shot, killed in Liberty City, 2 others transported. Police are searching for a shooter after 3 people were shot in Liberty City, leaving a teenage girl dead. A large police presence could be seen in the area of Northwest 13th Avenue near 62nd Street around 12:30 a.m. Wednesday of last week. A 17-year-old girl was reportedly shot and killed in the area. Family members identified the victim as Toni Chester, but those who knew her well called her Suga, or Baby Suga, a high school student who was excited to start her senior year. Police are trying to figure out why she was in the area, as that is not where she lived. The deceased 17-year-old girl is also said to be related to famous rapper Trina. It's sad. I know her from when she was a kid, said Sparky Cunningham. Cunningham is a friend of the family, and he was called to help as the teen's loved ones prepare to gather and mourn at a home in Northwest Miami-Dade. City of Miami police, as well as the medical examiner, responded to the scene. Police could be seen focusing their investigation on a black Mercedes SUV about a mile north of the crime scene. The vehicle had several bullet holes, and its side window and back windshield were shattered. Miami Fire Rescue pronounced Toni Chester, Baby Suga, dead on the scene. The woman who was pronounced deceased on the scene was there visiting. She didn't live in that precise area, said Miami police officer Kenya Falat. We don't know who was the intended target, but definitely it was a very big scene, and we still are trying to work on getting more answers. 2 men in their 20s suffered gunshot wounds, but they were able to get on Ryder Trauma Center on their own. They were able to get to the Ryder Trauma Center on their own instead of being transported by ambulance. They're stable at this point, Falat said. They are being attended to. Our last update was that they're stable and they're in their mid-20s. About a mile north of the crime scene, police found a Mercedes SUV with bullet holes and shattered windows. We're still trying to piece the puzzle together. There's an additional scene that could be related, said Falat. We're still trying to figure out how it fits in with our incident, so there's a lot more questions than we have answers. Family and friends of Chester are also looking for answers and hoping those responsible for this murder are caught. You know, it would be easier just to turn themselves in. It would be easier on themselves, said Cunningham. I got faith in the judicial system. They're going to get caught. The shooting remains under investigation. Now, I'm going to play a short video that goes with this, and then I'm going to discuss this case.
Today, in a triple shooting that turned deadly in Miami, the teenage victim, who sadly died, was the niece of a well-known Miami rapper. Local 10's Roy Ramos live now at JMH, where 2 other shooting victims are recovering tonight. Roy.
Calvin, and we've learned that victim is just 17 years old. The 2 men shot alongside her are now here at Jackson Memorial Hospital recovering from their injuries. This as City of Miami police now search for whoever is responsible.
The victim of a deadly shooting in the Liberty City area of Miami overnight identified as 17-year-old Toni Chester. Family and friends we spoke with shared these pictures of the teen they said was affectionately known as Suga.
The woman who was pronounced deceased on the scene was there visiting.
Suga was one of 3 people shot in the area of Northwest 62nd Street and 13th Avenue overnight.
Regarding a shooting, possible QTH is 1305, Northwest 625.
City of Miami police said their officers responded to a shot spotter alert that was then followed by multiple 911 calls.
There was a woman who was suffering from apparent gunshot wounds, and also 2 men had already been independently transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital, also two suffering from gunshot wounds.
While the identities of the other two men shot have not yet been released, we learned through relatives Suga is said to be the niece of South Florida rapper Trina.
I'm puzzled. It was sad because I knew her from when she was a kid.
Family friend Sparky Cunningham telling me the teen isn't from the Liberty City area and isn't sure what she was doing there. Meanwhile, we've learned through relatives she was there with her boyfriend, who is said to be one of the men now fighting for his life after he too was shot. Cunningham's message for the person responsible:
They gonna get caught. You know, it'd be easier just to turn yourself in to be easy on themselves.
And both of those men who were shot and brought here to Jackson Memorial Hospital were brought here in critical condition. At last check, they were stable. As for City of Miami Police, they do believe someone knows something. If you have any information that could help them, you are urged to contact Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. That number, 305-471-TIPS. For now, outside of Jackson Memorial Hospital here in the city of Miami, Roy Ramos.
Now, what the news story didn't say was several things. And I've done a lot of research on this case. Let's start with Toni Chester, a.k.a. Baby Suga or Suga. Now, she is the daughter of Laura, who is Trina, Katrina Taylor. Trina, the baddest bitch. That's her niece. And that's how she's related to Trina. She had just celebrated her 17th birthday, 2 months previous. Now, also, she is the only child of Trina's sister, Laura. The detectives are saying that they're suspecting that this is a domestic squabble. And the two men were taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital. And as of last Thursday, there were no arrests. So when the police got there, let's back it up. The shot spotter alert went off and notified the police, and then there were multiple 911 calls that were coming through. Now, one of the male people who drove themselves or were transported personal vehicle to Jackson Memorial was the boyfriend of Toni Chester. And the police were investigating this black SUV with the windows shattered in it. They say that there's an additional scene that could be related. There's a lot more questions than answers. Now, Trina has dealt with tragedy in her life many times. Her only brother was killed at 19 years old, and he had a close call before that in 2008. So she's no stranger to tragedy. This is a very sad story. I went over to the Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers page, and I was really shocked because there's nothing up about Toni Chester. There's no flyer, there's no wanted poster, there's no nothing. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. Then I went over to the Miami-Dade Police Department's website. There was nothing over there either. So I don't know if they're still, or let me take that back. Maybe they've got a good idea of who it is, and that's why they haven't posted anything. I don't know. But obviously the two males in their 20s are still in the hospital, critical but stable condition. And, you know, they're going to be the ones that's going to have the answers. They're going to know exactly what happened at that scene. Now, I don't know if they'll talk, but they are going to be the ones that has the most pertinent information in regards to this incident. Now, I think this is a shame. 17 years old, just turned 17 years old, and about to be a senior in high school, and she was an aspiring rapper, like her auntie, Trina. So I wanted to cover this on the channel, and I'm going to follow this case. I'm going to continue to follow it, and I'll let you guys know as soon as there are any updates. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.